Welcome to the 2020 Leadership Sarpy graduation. This class year has been a very interesting experience. As the students were sharpening their leadership skills, the community as a whole was hit by a world pandemic. This changing our known work and education world. Each of the students were able to adapt and continue to complete their course, and we are here to congratulate them today. I would like to introduce Jim Masters. Jim Masters is a well-known business coach with Focal Point Business Coaching. He is a graduate of Leadership Sarpy, and he is the current facilitator of Leadership Sarpy. Jim has been an integral part of the training and leadership experiences the graduates learn every year. He has assisted in building the content and impacting their skills in areas such as identifying personal values, removing constraints, making a difference in your community, personal and professional planning, and so much more. Please welcome Jim Masters.
Hey, thank you, Karen, for the introduction and the kind remarks. Wow, congratulations on completing your 2019-2020 Leadership Sarpy class certification requirements. It only seems like yesterday when we all gathered at orientation to give you an overview of the curriculum and let you know just what you were getting yourself into. Well, and that was quickly followed by 2 great days at the Carol Joy Hauling Center, the Leadership Sarpy retreat. There we got to know each other, got to know ourselves a little bit better via the personality assessments. We also learned how to better communicate as leaders, and we were also given our legacy team assignments. You know, this year we've learned a lot about Sarpy County, its government, its cities, its challenges. Brian and I also know that you had opportunities to expand your leadership skills through these experiences. Your legacy projects, the lesson in leadership's curriculum, and your opportunity to compile all these learnings into one-page personal and career strategic plan. Quite a journey indeed. You know, and part of being a leader is being able to adapt and be resilient. Who would have ever guessed 2020 would unfold this way? I was excited for the year to begin because of the symmetry, 2020. But as one of the comic strip characters that I read said lately, he said, 2020, you suck. So it has been a very challenging year. But on the topic of resilience, I did want to talk a little bit about this class and congratulate the class on their resilience. In the immortal words of my good relative, Sir Winston Masters, never have so many had to overcome so many hurdles to achieve so much. You've been a wonderful team to work with and truly resilient. I recently attended a wonderful workshop on resilience and the power of being resilient. In her book, Prosilience, Dr. Linda Hoops focuses on the concept of proactivity. And that really is proactivity plus resiliency equals prosilience, as she calls it. She states, resilience is not a fixed trait that people have or don't have. Instead, it's the result of a combination of things that people do before, during, and after they encounter challenges. This means resilience can be developed by understanding and practicing skills and tools used in dealing with adversity. This means that you must continue to develop yourselves and your leadership skills to excel in these new and changing times. We traditionally view today as a graduation ceremony. Often we call commencement, like commencement exercises, and commencement exercises in school, college, the end of school. But commencement really doesn't mean end. It means the beginning. We commence to begin work. We commence to begin the new project or job that we've taken on. So I challenge you today to view today as the beginning of your future. Use the knowledge that you've gained here through Leadership Sarpy to achieve your goals. Maintain the links you've established with your classmates. Stay involved. Keep Sarpy County a great place to live and work. Thank you, and best wishes to you all.
Adam Hobel-Heinrich, Project Control. Alex Kuhn, Charter Title and Escrow. Amanda Priester, CIT Bank. Amy Wagner, Great Western Bank. Andrew Thompson, MMC Mechanical Contractors. Andy Savicek, 5 Points Bank. Angie Velarde, Fairfield Inn and Suites Papillion. Ashley O'Neill, Sign It. Brian Kinley, Associated Staffing. Britton DeWeese, Ayers and Ayers. Bruce Yoder, EVH Architecture. Dean Wilson, HostNet of Papillion. Jerome Gondamy, Primerica Financial Services. Jacob Sack, VOA Daily. Janelle Kaufman, Ira Engineering. Jennifer Simmons, Sarpy County CASA Program. Jose Demas, Farm Bureau Financial Services. Josh Shavat, Sarpy County Economic Development. Kate Gatewood, Sarpy County. Kelly Baelish, Heartland Family Service. Christina Bamer, Pinnacle Bank. Lisa White, Gateway Mortgage Group. Mandy Miser, Asset Strategies. Matthew Kulsvik, DLR Group. Melissa Brunn, Core Bank. Mike Zadina, CHI Health. Philip B. Howard, Olson. Quinn Cooper, Sarpy County Chamber of Commerce. Ryan Strawhecker, Paul J. Strawhecker, Inc. Samantha Brunken, PayPal. Sean Hofseth, City of Papillion. Sherry Kuhn, Centris Federal Credit Union. TJ Matkin, Payless Office Products. Todd Santoro, Clean Wash Laundry Systems. And now I would like to introduce Brian White. Brian White is the manager of the Sarpy County Chamber Groups, Membership, and Education. He is a veteran of the United States Air Force, and he assists Leadership Sarpy students in the quality of presenters, the course, and support they need throughout the program. Brian, I'd like to welcome you to the lectern.
Thank you, Karen. Legacy projects culminate the program. They most importantly incorporate all of the elements of the program. These primary elements are process, development, and community. It begins with a 9-month journey at the retreat. During the retreat is where we identify the legacy groups based on their DISC assessment, personality assessments. For many, this is the first opportunity for them to assume different roles on a team and then end up in collaborating to achieve a final goal of making a significant community impact. Our lessons in leadership provide the fundamental background tools and resources to further develop their leadership skills, which these skills are critical in advancing the project, coordinating with key agencies, as well as city representatives along the way. Lastly, it's about tying that project to make a positive impact in the Sarpy County community. The effort, teamwork, research, time, and commitment are critical to conclude with identifying the project and what they want their legacy to be. It's my pleasure to share with you this year's projects, which include county fairground improvements, city and park enhancements and beautifications, life skills, and resources for first responders. At this point, please enjoy watching the presentations. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. We are so excited to share our Leadership Sarpy Legacy project with you today. For our project, we chose to focus on the Sarpy County Fairgrounds in Springfield, Nebraska. Our group really enjoyed working together on this project, and we can't wait to share our progress, as well as our future plans of giving back to the Sarpy County community through this beautification project within the fairgrounds. First, some introductions to our group, including the businesses we represent and our connection to this project and Sarpy County as a whole. I'll start out. I'm Jake Zock. I'm a structural engineer at a full-service architecture firm, VOA Daily. This project has meant a lot to me because I remember being a patron of the Sarpy County Fairgrounds for many summers throughout my childhood. The rodeos and demolition derbies at the fair bring back a ton of fond memories for me. Angie?
Hi, I'm Angie Velarde. I'm with the Fairfield Inn and Suites located in Papillion, Nebraska. I've lived in Sarpy County, born and raised, went to school here, and along with 25 years of hospitality experience, it means a lot to me to work on this project as the impact not only to the community, but to tourists coming in from out of town.
Hi, my name's Josh Sharbat. I'm with the Sarpy County Economic Development Corporation. One of the things that really excited me about this project is that it's kind of killing two birds with one stone, creating a great gateway for the city of Springfield as well as for the Sarpy County Fairground. So I was really excited to kind of improve the experience for both of those locations.
And my name is Bruce Yoder, and I'm an architect at BVH Architecture. I lived in Sarpy County for about 10 years, and as we've started going to the fairgrounds as a family with two little girls, it really just seemed like a place that we could impact for the whole community to see this great signage opportunity and entrance to the fairgrounds and create this improvement.
Hi, my name is Kelly Balish. I'm a program director with Heartland Family Service, and I'm excited about this project because I'm newer to working in Sarpy County. Even though I've been in the nonprofit field for 15 years, I've been with Heartland Family Service for 3 years, and I'm excited to be able to interact with all the neighboring cities that are in Sarpy County and really be able to partner with all the individuals and the groups as well as organizations to be able to benefit Sarpy County as a whole.
Hi, I'm Mike Zadina. I'm with CHI Health. I'm excited about this project because I've actually never been to the Sarpy County Fair. And when we were in Springfield, I had to ask someone where the fair was actually held because you couldn't tell. So I think adding this nice our feature that we're going to present here will really add a lot to the fairgrounds.
Thanks, guys. To preview the rest of our presentation, we're going to first provide just a project overview of what we're doing, and then an update on what we have accomplished to date and our future plans. As I mentioned before, our project focused on the beautification of the Sarpy County Fairgrounds. We felt as though a project like this would be beneficial to more than just the city of Springfield, but the Sarpy County community as a whole. More than 70,000 people typically attend the fair throughout its week-long events from across the county. Specifically, our team designed and prepared logistics for a signage installment at the main entrance of the fairgrounds. Bruce is going to tell you more.
So as we started to understand our project and find something that was tangible, we started to look around at identifying a site in that location. So as you can see here in this red box, this is the entrance to the Sarpy County Fairgrounds. As we zoom in a little bit closer, there's sort of an administrative building here, and then the main street that goes into town there. And you can kind of even see from a site plan, there's seemingly a lack of entry and signage that guides you even from this level. So we started to hone in a little bit further, and we identified this administration building as sort of a key point that we could create this graphic and screen wall that helps introduce you to the fairgrounds a little bit better. And as you can see on the existing building, there is the current donor signage applied to the building right there for their yearly sponsorships. So as we started to look at how could we make this experience just a little bit better and just more presentable to the community and create this place of entry, we started to just look at some precedent images. So here you can kind of see, there's on the left, there's sort of a map of this watershed for this particular project, and then as well as some signage and branding ideas to help with the sponsor boards. So we kind of took these ideas and discussed some of this with the Sarpy County Fairgrounds as well. Another piece that we wanted to look at was some kind of feature beyond just a sponsor and donor sign and something that says welcome to the fairgrounds. So we had this idea of the map of Sarpy County and something that everyone can kind of look at as they're entering and maybe even point out where they live, where their community is. And we have this idea for a magnet tray as well, whether it ends up in the final project or not. But the idea is that you could come up with your kids, place your magnet on where you live, so this could be an interactive piece throughout the fair. So we started to develop this, and here's that that map of Sarpy applied on the screen wall that we started to conceptualize, and how people could start to place those magnets. So all of these could move throughout the day, every single day of the fair. And it creates just something to stop and actually look at, and you'll see other people using this element right here. And on the right here, we started to look at how could we reintegrate the sponsor boards, because that's an important part of the donation factor for the fairgrounds. So we started to look to place signage opportunities over on this right-hand side. I'll go one more slide. And then here's sort of the overall initial concept that we presented to the fairground. So it has sponsorship, potential location for either a future big screen TV that can be more interactive, and then this interactive map of Sarpy County piece as well. But it definitely starts to create that entrance that says, "Welcome to the Sarpy County Fairgrounds." And here's just a slightly updated version of that. We had to extend the lengths of it after working with everyone. We worked with the city to get proper sizes for zoning and everything with the fence wall. Created a location for donors, so anyone that's interested in donating to the project would have their name here, that map, and then all the sponsor elements there. And here's more of the working drawing that we'll be giving to the Sarpy County Fairgrounds along with all of this, and that we're working with Springfield on. And I think one of the biggest opportunities is this location right here, where that interactive TV could potentially go in the future, or another branding opportunity for them. So big picture, what we're looking at right now, I'm not going to go through every single line, but essentially to get it built as it stands today, it would be around $30,000, not including labor of a contractor. That's one thing that we're still working on and will continue to work on. But $30,000 would give them the wall, the map of Sarpy, all of the signage, everything for the sponsors. And then the only thing that they would have to worry about is coordinating with a signage company. When they sign up a sponsor, that sponsor would send their graphic to this company. That company would come out and install it for them. So we're just trying to really eliminate a lot of the work that they mentioned that they have to do currently with their sponsor wall as well.
Thank you, Bruce. And I'll quickly just kind of finish up on where we stand at this moment. So kind of one of the big things we've been doing throughout this process is engaging with community partners. Sarpy County Fairgrounds kind of at the top of that list, but also the city of Springfield. We've looked at some other school partners to potentially, assist with the installation. But with that, we kind of have three main avenues that we're really working through. First is the design approval. So that one's nearly complete. As you saw the drawings that Bruce talked about, we have the application in with the city of Springfield. We're just waiting for that approval to come through. Second one is fundraising. As Bruce said, we're looking at kind of this project about a $30,000 cost. So we're kind of looking for partners, for donors within the communities to help assist us with that. The third one is secure a builder, and kind of along with that is to complete installation. So that kind of goes along after the fundraising. Once we have the money, we're going to go out and find a builder to help install that. We've had discussions with the city of Springfield the Springfield Platteview School District for potentially working with their students to help install kind of the screening wall element. And lastly, complete installation. So probably not too likely to get this done this year. So we're kind of targeting it to be done by the 2021 fair. And with that, we've all committed, kind of talking about next steps to continue with this project, continue to engage with community partners. Obviously, the big hurdle is going to be the fundraising, with just all the uncertainty that this coronavirus situation has kind of brought into us. But pretty far along with this process. We have a lot of interest through community partners. So we're excited, hopefully in 2021, to see everyone out at the Sarpy County Fair and have everyone enjoy this new feature wall. And with that, I guess we'd close, and thanks everyone for taking time to listen to our project.
Thank you, group. This is Brian White with Sarpy Chamber. Awesome presentation, awesome idea. I really enjoy seeing and hearing your guys' efforts on what we can do to really engage the community, but then also seeing the vision of being able to transition into like the Instagram wall, which is becoming more and more popular, with becoming a focal point, and you can see the added benefit and value to the community. So again, wanted to express an appreciation and thank you for your guys' effort and continued focus as well. So lastly, just thank you again and appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Welcome everyone for another Legacy Leadership Sarpy Legacy Project Update. At this point, we're joined with Team Beta.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Andy Sajovic with 5 Points Bank in the Commercial Lending Department. Our legacy project focused on the La Vista Sports Complex in partnership with the City of La Vista. And I will have each member of our group introduce themselves, and then we'll get started.
Hi, my name is Samantha Brunkin, and I lead our executive escalations team at PayPal.
Hi, this is Ryan Strahecker, and I'm with Paul J. Stracker, Inc. We are a nonprofit consulting firm.
Hi, I'm Dean Wilson, and I work for Postnet of Papillion.
I'm Amy Wagoner. I'm a retail manager at Great Western Bank.
Outstanding. So we'll move forward. So as we mentioned, our project was around the La Vista Sports Complex. As we came together to brainstorm our projects, we had challenges narrowing our scope as we all had different interests that we felt were important and that could impact the community in a positive way. In the end, we decided to use the connections that we had already in place with the City of La Vista to create an art project in conjunction with the 84th Street Corridor Improvement Project. However, as you can see by our title, that we were advised the corridor project was still evolving in scope and that the theme for the green space was still unclear. So we had to shift gears to support another city project, which was the La Vista Sports Complex. This slide here summarizes our original project scope, including some short, medium, and long-term objectives that we wanted to accomplish along the way. And it also highlights things such as our target amount that we wanted to fundraise and who would be our advisors along the way. This represents the larger overall project that the La Vista City had planned for the complex. Our piece of this larger project was to improve the area at the entrance to the complex, which would include removing the old, outdated landscaping and planting new trees and shrubs to improve and beautify the entrance to the location.
So this has been a little bit of a crazy year. We had some obstacles in our project. So one of those unexpected obstacles, it was a difficult process finding the right people we needed to talk to and then coordinating between themselves and our group. Another unexpected obstacle we had would be understanding our role in the group. So all of our team participated equally. However, the end result might have been better if we had placed individuals in positions that would better suit, their skills. The next one I'm going to talk about is COVID-19. I don't think that needs a lot of words to say. We all feel that impact in our lives, and that really changed our project and our project goal. Our last unexpected challenge we had was going to be focusing our scope. So all of us had great ideas. So deciding what our project was going to be was a little bit difficult. We were also challenged with defining and narrowing down our project to achievable goals. In the end, I'm proud of what our team has accomplished, and I look forward to the future.
Okay, so as Dean was saying, we had several unexpected obstacles throughout the project, but in particular, the situation with COVID-19 really required us to pivot and complete our project in a completely different way. So between working with Jeff from the city and with Brian, we came up with a solution. We changed our role in the project from primarily a fundraising role to a group volunteer event. So we will be working together as a group to beautify the park entrance whenever it is safe for us to do so. We will clean up, we will plant trees, we will plant bushes, we'll spread mulch, whatever the city would like us to do. The city will give us the supplies and we will provide the labor. For a timeline, we're just gonna have to play this by ear again whenever it's safe, but likely it'll be in June or July when this is completed. I think the key with coming up with this solution and for the group to feel that we really achieved what we originally wanted to achieve was that it still ultimately fulfills our original purpose. We wanted to create a space that was safer and more beautiful for those that were using it, and we're still doing so, doing it in a different way. We also were freeing up the city's resources. So the people, time, money, and other resources that would have gone into this physical labor portion of the project, those things can now go to other more timely and pressing needs within the city. We think this is a great solution. It fulfills the requirements of our project and it also fulfills our original purpose.
Okay, so some lessons learned from our project. Number 1 and number 2, the first 2 bullets kind of go together. And it really had to do with, we had several great discussions, and had we organized ourselves in maybe more like a board format with a president, a secretary, a treasurer, something like that from the beginning, we think we would have been a little bit more effective faster, just to help everyone understand who does what and how decisions are made and who needs to follow up with who. That goes along with regular communication, just making sure that there's some weekly communication, who's doing what task when, and checking in on the tasks. So as we reflected over the last couple of weeks, we did talk a bit about that. Planning ahead, we would have started faster on our fundraising efforts. We did have a lot of conversations about fundraising and thinking about whether we're going to do some online fundraising, things like that. But we could have started probably before March, and we wish we probably had done that. Contingency planning, we had a little laugh about this because we had our contingency planning session in our program. And with COVID-19, certainly there's been contingency planning that's needed to go along. The key question that we came to was, had we talked through all this with the city, that the question we should have been asking is, at the end of the day, what is the key things that need to be accomplished, the core of our project? So if we knew the core of the project, we probably could have kept that in mind, and our contingency planning would have gone for the core of the project. So that's was kind of a key learning as well. Clear goals really talks to, as we defined our project and deciding on what project we were going to do, same thing, needing to know what are the clear goals that need to be accomplished. And with that, what's our role versus the city's role, or our role versus other entities' roles. So some of that was just getting a good handle of what is expected of us. Sometimes you have an early planning conversation and you leave the meeting feeling like everyone knows what to do, and then you realize maybe everyone doesn't know what to do. So some of that is just kind of going the extra step to clarify things. Flexibility, the best laid plans can always be interrupted. Learn to pivot. So that's on here twice just to prove you have to learn to pivot. And certainly that kind of goes with understanding what your core mission is and to achieve the project. We wanted to add the last bullet on still learning because our project's not done, and we feel like through our volunteer effort to finish the park, when we're able to do that, certainly we'll still learn more and have the chance to kind of get together and do that and reflect from there. So we're excited to finish the project.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us today and learning about our legacy project. just an overview. We've covered the actual project itself, some of the obstacles we have faced, some solutions we found by pivoting maybe some roles and some responsibilities and what the project would entail, and as well as lessons learned. We hope you've enjoyed the project and learning a little bit about it. We've enjoyed this whole process, have learned many things, and we look forward to completing our project this summer and sharing a few photos of the beautiful space we hope to create.
Thank you, Team Beta, for sharing that. Absolutely, you know, both from the focus on pivoting, and which is becoming more and more a common word and a common theme. Initially, we think of pivot, you know, from a Nebraska standpoint. Pivot has been critical given agriculture and center pivot, but now as we're dealing with a pandemic and crisis, pivoting is becoming more and more common and frequent. And so appreciate everybody's time and effort. And so thank you. Thank you all. Peter. All right, welcome everyone. With us today is our Leadership Sarpy Legacy Group Team Alpha. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. My name is... Hi.
I am Lisa White with Gateway Mortgage Group. I'm a residential mortgage loan officer.
I'm Sean Hofseth. I'm the building official for the city of Papillion.
I am Gerald Gondeman with America Financial Services. I'm a regional vice president.
My name is Melissa Glenn. I'm an SBA relationship manager with Core Bank.
And Brian Kinley with Associate Staffing. I'm business development manager.
All right, and I'm Mandy Miser, investment advisor with Asset Strategies. So without further ado, we'd like to let you know what our project is that we've been working on. Melissa, can you please go to the next slide?
I'm trying to. There we go.
All right. All right, we're proposing a life skills program for youth in the Papillion area. We're targeting middle and high school age, looking to expand just beyond the academic learning that they receive in school. We have found that 6 out of 10 parents worry that their teenage children lack essential life skills. So while the Papillion curriculum is very strong academically, we feel that there are some gaps there that just isn't things that aren't happening at home, whether that just, I think our lives have just gotten really busy. Usually both parents are working. So there was a recent study that was done, and the majority of parents lacked confidence that their child was able to deal with stress properly, public speak, sew on a button, iron a shirt, eat a balanced diet, you know, make a roast beef, understand interest rates, be able to save money, very, very common basic skills. And that is now creating what they're calling a boomerang generation. So children are leaving the nest to go to college and then ending up back at their parents' home because they oftentimes just weren't ready for that independence. So we're hoping that adding this life skills course, it is an after school program that we will be offering in partnership with Papillion Parks and Rec. Melissa, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, again, we'd like to target the fall semester. Hopefully everything will be up and running by then. Looking at a 6-week program starting in September. And we would like it to be as much hands-on learning as we possibly can. So looking to partner with some local businesses to help sponsor some of these classroom sessions. All transportation will be provided through Parks and Rec. They also have insurance along with that, and they have the waivers that are necessary in order to transport the children back and forth. So we're covered under all of those things. They also offer some marketing for us. We can be in their circulation that they send out. They do email and catalogs that go out to Papillion residents. So we're looking at getting into that program in time for the fall curriculum that comes out. We're looking at $20 cost per student, just to give them some skin in the game. have a little bit of commitment level there. We don't anticipate much cost outside of maybe a snack provided and just having the businesses sponsor the location. Next slide. All right, so we've got, again, 6 weeks. Week 1, we've narrowed it down to entrepreneurship. So there is a young man in Papillion who started a business when he was 12. It's a candle company. He now has a shop in downtown Papillion. We'd like to partner with him, take the kids to his shop and learn about how to start your own business. There's also a young man with a lawn service. He's a high schooler who has had the lawn service for 5 years. And we would like, the teenagers to talk to the teenagers. We feel that would be very impactful. Week 2, we're looking at self-defense, partnering with 88 Tactical and or Champion Sport Karate. A lot of that is still in the works. Week 3, looking at mental health. This is a rising problem in our youth, anxiety and bullying issues, and just learning. We're kind of wanting to implement social media into this and how to handle the pressures and how to handle the online presence with teens. Week 4 would be fitness and nutrition. So partnering both with a nutritionist and a fitness expert. So doing not only the eating and the diet, but also the active portion of staying in shape. And then week 5, we're looking at finances and budgets. This we feel like could be a multi-week process, but we're going to cram it into 1 day. Just learning how to save and then how finances work. Again, looking at compounding interest and how to maintain a budget and how to not overspend your means. Week 6, auto maintenance, partnering with a local auto shop, being able to learn how to change a tire and change your oil. Basic essential knowledge for being out on the road, which I think would be very useful for new drivers. So those is our 6-week program. We had a hard time narrowing it down to just 6 topics, and we feel that should this program continue, and if it is successful, the Papillion Parks and Rec has mentioned wanting to take this program over. So there's lots of more ideas out there where we can implement all sorts of different life skills on top of just these 6. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Team Alpha. Excellent job. You can kind of see the opportunity in any pilot program, which this would appear to potentially be for the community. You have to have the pilot. So just laying the groundwork and the effort that you guys have put in will be much appreciated, and you can see a value in the community as well as being able to take advantage of the new Papillion Landing that we have and be able to boost the community involvement in the spirit. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone to Leadership Sarpy Legacy Project. Today we're joined by Group 4. Please take it away.
Hi, I'm Sherry Kuhn. I'm with Centrist Federal Credit Union.
I am Kate Gatewood. I am with the Sarpy County Attorney's Office in the Civil Division.
Hello, my name is Matthew Gelsvig, and I am with DOR Group.
Hi, my name is Amanda Preister, and I'm with CIT Bank, formerly known as Mutual of Omaha Bank.
Hi, my name is Todd Santoro, and I'm with Clean Wash Laundry Systems.
All right, so I'll just roll right into it then. So our group for our legacy project has spearheaded an initiative to produce a behavioral health resource guide. So I will go on to the next slide here. And so our targeted impact community is Sarpy County law enforcement and first responders. Really kind of circling back to the origins of the project, we had brainstormed various ideas, and in discussing it and going through it, part of what I do for my responsibilities is targeted towards serving our mental health needs for the county. Particularly, I work quite a bit with law enforcement and our mental health focused sergeant in the sheriff's office, whose name is Sergeant Robert Hillebrand. And I met with Rob over the phone and we discussed ideas because there's a lot of projects that we have kind of in our back pocket, but for various reasons, they often get backburnered, but that's not to say that they're not important or necessary. It's just kind of the nature of the beast and business. And so Rob had mentioned and proposed an idea to produce a field guide for area law enforcement in particular, but it could also be equally useful for first responders who have contact with persons in mental health crisis and or other crises related to behavioral health issues. And that addresses the need that, you know, often these calls and contacts are highly stressful, and having a quick resource guide at the ready that has distilled information is highly useful for our first responders and law enforcement. So that's where the idea came from, and pitching it with the group, also hitting on the idea of how did we select this project, why were we motivated? I think in hearing from our group members' feedback, the passion that Rob had exhibited and describing what he does and how helpful this guide would be really caught people's eye. Also, the fact that it addresses a real need in the community and that'll have a lasting impact. So to give you a visual concept of what we're talking about, we initially got the inspiration from a guide out of Georgia that's actually produced at this point by the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And it's a flip book guide. We also received some ideas from other stakeholders in the area where there's laminated versions, which would be great for durability. So that's the image you see on the right. So as I had mentioned, the purpose of the guide is to provide officers and first responders with a field guide. And it's meant to, like I stated earlier, assist with dealing with various behavioral health issues in the field, which they come in contact with quite a bit. Not only does it give you ideas for tips and tricks on how to manage those contacts, but it also includes a list of medication descriptions and contact information for area resources in the community. So our goals are to have this guide handed out at crisis intervention team training sessions, which occur normally when we're not in the COVID-19 era, quarterly thereabouts. And Sergeant Hillebrand is an instructor for that, so it's kind of a natural venue to distribute those guides. And also it would be available for distribution to the sheriff's office and other law enforcement, and also for folks who go through CIT training and who are new members. And then the hope is that it will be useful and will be utilized by other agencies in other counties, cities, and possibly statewide. So this is what a hard copy of our guide looks like. The content appears. It's, as I've learned, grayscale, I am told, and black and white. And so that's what it looks like from a high level. And then this is basically our distilled version of what would more or less be the table of contents. So as you can see, it goes over tips for how to manage those contacts. And then there are a couple pages that are targeted specifically for law enforcement for emergency protective custody of adults when folks are in crisis. And also temporary custody for juveniles, which is the counterpart to that in the juvenile system. And then of course there's other contacts and medication lists, resources there for them. So our next steps, we are at a final draft stage. The guide is ready for a peer review process, which I think is particularly necessary for a resource like this to ensure that it will be utilized by law enforcement and meet their needs. We have gotten quotes to see how much it would cost for printing purposes. So we're looking at the ballpark anywhere from approximately $1,700 to $2,800, depending on our order. And then following that would be printing and then distribution through CIT training, which fingers crossed there will be one in July or August, but it's hard to say at this point. But at any rate, it could be made available immediately for the sheriff's office. And of course, it could always be made available electronically. So our process, kind of circling back on generating our guide, we met every other week periodically through Zoom, and we also had some in-person meetings and a meeting with Rob Hillebrand as well. So it was a fun process, great for us to get to know each other better, and I think everybody, their input was really valuable, providing different perspectives, and also being there, everybody in my mind is an asset to getting this through for completion. So with that, that's the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, team. Definitely, I think there's, you can see the value being able to provide a tool like that and a resource to the first responders. And so oftentimes when we think of mental health, and the guide goes in a little bit deeper too, and noticing some of the different tips and tricks and things of that nature of the focus areas, it's mental health is just kind of a forgotten area. And so, you know, kudos to you guys for being able to recognize a need and then come up with something. And as you mentioned, it's, you know, this area or city is the first, but there's an opportunity for this guide to be shared with other counties and provide a resource that can have a lasting impact. So again, thank you. Appreciate all your guys' time and effort. And welcome everyone to another Leadership Sarpy Legacy Project presentation. This afternoon, we're joined with Team Banff.
Hi, I'm Quentin Cooper with the Sarpy County Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, I'm Jen Simmons with Sarpy County CASA.
I am Philip Neuwiner, and I'm with Olson.
Hi, I'm Christina Bamer. Sorry,
I'm Andrew Thompson. I'm with MMC Contractors.
I'm Christina Bamer, and I'm with Pinnacle Bank.
Hi, I'm Ashley O'Neill, and I am with Sign It. I am going to start off with our first project. We were fortunate enough to take on 2 projects during this time, and our first one was with the Papillion Community Foundation. Laura Schwartz had reached out to us expressing a need in the community, and we came together as a group. Even though we had already picked a project already, we were able to come together and decide that it was a good fit and that we would still be able to complete the project that we had already selected while adding on this one. What we did was we helped box up their old location in downtown Papillion. We went to City Hall. They had a lot of items in the basement that we were able to organize, box up, and then help move everything over to their new location, which is just right off of the strip in downtown Papillion. We organized everything at the new location, built the furniture, helped just kind of get everything set up. That way she could open up to the community. I think that it's really going to be it's going to help her serve the Papillion Community Foundation a lot better in her new space. Everyone played a really big, important part in this and really stepped up. And it was a lot of fun being able to do this together and know that we were making a big impact in serving our community. I am going to turn it over to Andrew, and he is going to introduce our Gretna project.
Yeah, so our Gretna project. This came about when we were doing city tours as part of our bus tour around Sarpy County. And while we were out in Gretna, they were talking about their downtown revitalization. And you know, this project that's undergoing right now, they really take a lot of pride in their downtown. The challenge is that not many people know where it's at. I live in Gretna. and it took me 6 months just to find downtown. So we came about, is there a way that we could help direct traffic in that direction? And we started out with creating a prominent sign on this major intersection that leads to downtown Gretna, which is just to the left here on Angus Road. We wanted to start out with like a big monument style sign, and along the way we came across all these challenges. One, it's a state highway and there's a lot of challenges associated with that, and going through an approval process and specifications, state requirements. There is some available city property around the area, but that property doesn't match up with the height of the street itself. And then, the best location was on private property, and figuring out how to work with that owner was going to be challenging. So we kept working on it and came to a solution that the city of Gretna is really excited about. And so we're going down a wayfinding sign path. And what this helps with is it helps set the precedent for future wayfinding signs across the city, helping people find all these different locations within Gretna. And, in the end, came to the conclusion that's really going to be a lot more beneficial and valuable to the city. And we're helping forge this path. So specifically where we're focused at, we're going to put in a northbound and a southbound sign that will help direct traffic in the direction of downtown, but also point out some other great locations within the city. We plan to reutilize or be able to hook onto existing poles with new signage, and you saw those examples of some of the designs we came up with in the slide before. So where we're at right now, we've got the plan put together, we've got sign designs put together, we've had conversations with the city of Gretna, we've gathered a lot of their feedback. Our next step is to go in front of the city council, which we are set to do that on May 19th. And then following their approval, we'll be submitting plans to the state of Nebraska, Nebraska Department of Transportation, and getting their approval. Then we order the signs. The city of Gretna is on board to help us with the installation. And then the cost of it. We've already identified who we believe the contributors will be, and then it's just a matter of finding the total cost and getting those contributions, which we're confident that that's going to come together well. The city of Gretna is really excited about this, and it's been a fun journey for our team. And we just want to thank leadership Sarpy for the opportunity. It's great on so many levels. Our team agrees that it's great from an education standpoint, great from a networking standpoint, but really, I guess the most value that we've gotten out of it is the opportunity for community impact. So thank you, leadership Sarpy.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Team Banff. Really appreciate you guys taking the time this afternoon to join us and share about your project. Really kind of like the notion and the idea of being able to kind of lay some groundwork that you can see for the future. So when you're talking about those way signs and being able to add on and kind of providing that blueprint for them. So thank you guys for your effort. Welcome everyone to Leadership Sarpy Legacy Project presentation. This afternoon I'm joined with Team Omega.
I'm Alex Cum with Charter Title and Escrow.
TJ Mackin with Payless Office Products.
Janelle Kaufman with Fire Engineering.
Adam Hobelheinrich with Project Control.
Britton DeWeese with Heirs and Heirs.
Jose Dimas with Farm Bureau Financial Services. Thank you. And so our project, just to begin with, our group Omega, we wanted to come up or find a project that was going to be more one and done, and find a project that wasn't necessarily going to involve much after the fact once the project was finished. So after much discussion, We had a couple ideas moving forward of what we wanted to do. However, through a networking group, TJ Matten and myself met with Mayor Black. And through that discussion, we asked them if there were any ideas already in motion or plans for anything that the city was doing that we could contribute or that we could participate in. So from that meeting, we had a follow-up meeting with the entire group, with Mayor Black, Tony McGowan, down at the Parks and Recreation Center. And he brought to light that they actually already had something in motion, that they actually had set aside $15,000 for a monument. This monument was going to be placed at the Veterans Park, the existing Veterans Park in Papillion. And the monument was going to be an obelisk that was going to honor four individuals, starting from different branches of the military, but those would be from the Army and Marines. The four individuals are, to begin with, was the Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Private Jacob C. Miller of Company G, the 113th Illinois Infantry JAR, for the gallantry in the charge of the voluntary storming party at the Battle of Vicksburg in May 1863. The second recipient was going to be Major Delmar George Booz, Marine Corps, missing in action, Da Nang, South Vietnam, January 25th, 1966. The third, First Lieutenant Mark A. Naziski, Army, killed in action, Malajat, Afghanistan, August 30th, 2010. And lastly, the fourth recipient, Specialist Joseph B. Kemper, Army, killed in action, FOB Gambari, Afghanistan, April 6, 2011. The cost of this project, the total cost was $30,000. So we worked with the City of Papillion as well as the Papillion Community Foundation. Again, as mentioned earlier, the city already was going to match $15,000. So the difference, $15,000, the difference of that we had to fundraise. So we identified potential donors through internal discussions and meetings with the City of Papillion and our legacy team mentor. Our team developed informational flyers, called and emailed individuals and companies, and attended meetings with potential sponsor groups to solicit donations. So as you can see here, that you can kind of see the different levels of donations. We began receiving donations and pledges for additional funds that we then withheld once we were impacted by COVID-19. So unfortunately and understandably, many of our targets had to hold back on charitable giving or redirect the charitable giving toward COVID-19 specific efforts. As a group and through conversation with the city of Papillion, the Papillion Community Foundation, and our leaders with the Chamber of Commerce, it was determined that this project would not meet our deadline and that it was not appropriate to continue the solicitation of funds. So although we did not reach our initial fundraising goal due to the pandemic, we have secured funds that would be used and will be used to construct a lasting monument that honors distinguished Sarpy County veterans. So with that, I will open it up to questions.
No, I would just say, team, I think a great job recognizing, again, kind of talking about the collaboration of efforts that you did both with the City of Papillion as well as Papillion Community Foundation, recognizing an opportunity. I think it's great to be able to pay tribute to our veterans. This community, Sarpy County in and of itself, is a true, no kidding, very veteran friendly. And one of the things that's highlighted actually by members of ACA when they come here, they talk about how committed and giving the community is and accepting and recognizing our veterans, both active duty as well as military, active duty, retired, and just veterans in general. So outstanding. You know, there's opportunities to continue this project going forward as well. So thank you guys for your time, and thank you for the effort put in.
Sarpy County Chamber of Commerce, the community, Brian White and myself would like to congratulate the graduates of the Leadership Sarpy 2020.